Hello everyone, so you have probably all received this type of email from Claude saying that you cannot use your Claude subscription for third-party harnesses, including OpenClaw. So what does this mean exactly? This means that you cannot use the Claude subscription, so the $200 plan or the $100 plan, depending on which one you chose, for OpenClaw. Now, in this video, I'm going to basically go through the different solutions and the alternative of how to use this, and then I also have a bonus which basically talks about how to install Hermus agent, which I have been using for the last 48 hours and is 10 times better than OpenClaw and Claude Code. So Claude Code just logged everyone out. Essentially what has happened with Claude Code is basically Anthropic changed their policy. Claude Code subscription tokens can no longer be used by third-party tools. So OpenClaw and everything else connected through that token gets blocked. So before you would basically be able to use your Claude Code subscription, you would be paying a monthly fee for it. And now, well, only the official Claude Code CLI can be used. So basically, if you want to use Claude with OpenClaw, you would have to use the API key, which is just way too expensive. So if you see an error with OpenClaw and you're trying to use the Claude Code subscription, it's not a bug, it's real, like Claude is blocking that. Now, what you'll see right now is this, so authentication failed, subscription tokens no longer are accepted, and basically let me show you exactly how to fix this. So what you're going to do is basically you're going to run OpenClaw configure, and then it's going to tell you, it's going to give you the option to select a specific model. So you can select between Anthropic, OpenAI, and then Chinese models, Gemini, etc. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to select OpenAI. So OpenAI has a codex subscription that you can directly use, which is very similar to Claude Code. So it's going to basically ask you to log in through the OpenAI auth. You don't need a subscription for this. I actually use it without a subscription and it works pretty well. So yeah, you just need to click on this link and then you need to authorize it and then approve the connection, and then you'll be in. Then you'll need to restart your OpenClaw. By the way, all of these commands will be in the description, so just check that out. So yeah, you'll need to restart your gateway. This is where many people get it wrong. They forget to restart the gateway and then they're just stuck thinking that they made a change, but actually the change only happens after you restart your OpenClaw gateway. Then you can just confirm that it's working by saying OpenClaw model status, and essentially it'll just tell you that it's connected to codex, and you will also be able to see the fallbacks if you have some. Now, just one thing to inform you guys as well, what I do is basically we build AI agents for your business. So we first start with the AI return on investment audit of your business. We map everything out. So we would go on a call with you. You would explain exactly every single department that you have, every single person that works in your company, and then we would recommend 5 different OpenClaw agents or agents in general to implement within your business. So we give you an agent roadmap, and then we build it in 90 days. And in the first 14 days, we deliver the first agent. So the link in the description to book your call will be there for more information if you want that. So this is like an example of what you would get. So we did this for Pinpoint Scaling, which is a med spa agency. Currently, they are making around 200K per month. And as you can see, we have different departments, and in green are the AI agents that we recommend. So their monthly savings will be 15K. They will have 5 agents, 95 hours recovered, and it will be built in 90 days. So now the bonus part, which is Hermus agent. So I really need to show this because I've been using it for the last 48 hours and honestly it has been game changing. So whatever they built here is really fascinating and has really improved all of our automation workflows, all of our agents. We have transitioned all of our OpenClaw agents to Hermus directly. And just a secret between us, Hermus still works with Claude. So you can still connect with it. So yeah, it's really cool. Now, what exactly is Hermus? Well, it's not just a CLI, so it's not just like Claude Code. It's a full operating system. It has persistent memory. It has 80 plus built-in tools. So it has, I believe, 121 skills. And it has a lot of tools that are already pre-built that normally you would have to build with OpenClaw directly. So you have multi-platform, so you can also use it in Telegram, Slack, etc. Multi-model, so you're not just stuck with Claude. You can fall back to Qwen, Gemini, ChatGPT, any type of Chinese model, any type of local model as well. And then you can also, well, create sub-agents, different Hermus profiles, etc. So essentially the same thing as OpenClaw, but just 10 times better, to be completely honest with you. Here I'm just comparing each. So you have the Claude code, which shows exactly well, where it's bad at. Then you have OpenClaw. There's, for example, multi-model support is very good. Persistent memory, OpenClaw is kind of basic. And then when you go to Hermus, well, they have really done all of this well. So how do you actually, yeah, and then like I said, well, it has direct Claude Opus 4.6 access. Now I am in your OpenClaw agent. Well, what you can do is you can install Hermus, and then you can ask Hermus to migrate whatever you have built in OpenClaw to Hermus, and then from there you can directly connect it to Claude. And also, well, they have a really good fallback system. So whenever my Claude Opus 4.6 hits a rate limit, for example, then it just fallbacks on ChatGPT codex, and then it fallbacks on Qwen 3.6. If you don't know what Qwen 3.6 is, it's a new model that came out 3 days ago. And so essentially what they do, well, they show all of their benchmarks here, but if you go down, normally there should be a representation which shows, but basically here you have the benchmarks. Essentially it's similar to Claude. So Claude 4.5 Opus. Now the newest one is 4.6 Opus, but to be honest with you, like, it's very good and it's free, so it's amazing. So how do you set up the fallback? So basically you would just select the model, and then from there you would just select the fallback. It's very easy. You can also just talk directly with Hermus to get this done. So here we can see Hermus in action. So it plans everything. Basically it just plans everything by itself, right? So with Claude Code, you would have to tell it to deploy an agent to do certain tasks. Here, Hermus, it's smart enough. Well, the system is created in order to deploy multiple agents and to build what you need to build. It does use more usage. However, it is much more powerful, which makes sense. So how it fits all together. So you have, you would text through Telegram, Discord, Slack, whatever, and then that would communicate with the Hermus gateway. And then from there, well, it would use the different AI, the different LLM that you configured. So just a quick recap. So Claude locked out third-party tools. Subscription tokens don't work anymore for OpenClaw. If you want to fix the OpenClaw, you can just configure openai-codex to it. Then if you really want to go to the next level and you want to use a better system than OpenClaw and Claude Code, then you would use Hermus agents, and you would directly connect that to Claude Opus 4.6. Not via API, you would do it via access token. And then you can also set up a fallback chain. So when you hit the rate limit on Claude, you can actually configure another Claude account, or you can just configure OpenAI, and then you can configure another fallback if that has an issue, which is Qwen 3.6, which is basically a free model. So you will always have your agent running at all times. So again, if you do want someone to build your AI agents, that's what we do. We have been doing this for 4 months now. And like I said, we start with the AI return on investment audit. If you do fill in the form that is in the description, you'll get the audit for free in your email. And then after that, obviously, you get on a call with us and we'll give you a proper audit after you have paid and you have joined our system. So yeah, so that's it. If you do want to have the resources that I talked about here, just check the description, you'll find everything. And yeah. Looking forward to what's happening in this industry, and yeah, if you learned anything from this video, put a like, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one.